All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have the one and only. We got Tay the Crown right here, live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Peace, man. What's good, man?
Hey, man.
Everybody doing, man?
Hey, man. Best as we could possibly be down here in Canada, man. I hope all is well with you out there, man, and that you're staying safe.
Oh, yeah, man. We staying real safe out here, man. You know, they say stay dangerous, but stay safe, too, man.
Hey, man, that's the best way to be, man. But I know you're a busy guy, Tay, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast, but I got to take you back to the beginning of your entire career, man. And I have to ask, what actually made you decide to pursue a career within the music industry initially, man? Because when someone slides in one of your records, man, it just sounds so natural, man, like you're truly meant to do this.
In the beginning, before I even started rapping, I used to do poetry a lot, and the kind of, long story short, it expanded into, I ain't gonna say expanded, it evolved into rapping, A lot of the people that I hung around with, I'm a street guy, they wasn't digging poetry, so, I had to put it in a different form where people can understand what I'm saying and understand everything that I'm going through at the same time. Relate to it,
And I have to ask, man, when you actually said you were writing poetry and whatnot before you actually became an official MC, I have to ask, did any of those earlier poetry writings actually turn into any songs, or did you kind of just leave those in the past and create fresh content when you actually pursued a hip-hop career?
Yeah, I'm talking, this is like when I was in high school. Actually before I even started rapping, like I said, I was into poetry. A teacher had found some of my poems, I used to keep them to myself, and they actually turned it into a contest, and I had one. I actually got inducted into the National Library of Poetry in Washington, D.C. So, I got like a small accomplishment out of that as a young man, you know what I mean?
I gotta say, man, that's actually phenomenal, man, and definitely congratulations on that, man. Not anybody can actually say that they're actually inducted in such a prestigious organization, especially at such a young age.
Yeah, it's nice to see my name inside of a book somewhere, man, in Washington, D.C., man. That's a cool thing. And to do it so young, that was cool.
And also as well, man, February 10th of 2016, you actually released the amazing 12-track album titled Mood. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this earlier release, and of course, is it still actually out there to be streamed or purchased today if our listeners haven't already done so?
Yeah, it's still out there to be streamed and purchased. It's out on everything that you can purchase music on the stream. That album was actually my first album that I ever did, my first studio album, to where all the beats were original. The producer was ATM, the professional out here in Phoenix, Arizona. He produced the whole project. It was a natural project, man. At the time I was going to college, and I used to, right before I go to classes, I would stop by his house and do a song or two. And right after I would go to classes, I would stop through again on the way out and do a song or two. So the album it came together pretty fast and natural,
And I gotta say, man, the one song that I particularly like the most on that project is actually One Drank, Two Cups, where I believe you actually had Cactus Jack actually on that joint.
Yeah, man, that's my partner. Those are all my TTG fellas, man. Those are all the people from my group, man. Toast to the gifted.
And also as well, man, actually, speaking of that group, since you brought that up, you were actually a member of course, the hip-hop collective Toast to the Gifted. I was wondering, what is the story behind that group? And of course, how did you actually get connected with all the other members?
Man, these are all phenomenal artists that are from my state out here in Arizona. We're all independent guys moving, and we, just thought it would be great for us all to come together and help each other and motivate each other and push each other. And we evolved into a group. We actually got a project coming out pretty soon. We're working on music right now. Songs are getting mastered and mixed as we speak. Wait till you guys hear some of the stuff that we got coming out of there, man. It's done with dope MCs and dope producers.
I gotta say, man, it's definitely. I gotta say, you definitely got my curiosity running, man. Just hearing that you got that Toasted actually has a brand new record coming, and I know you probably can't let too many cats out of the bag, but I have to ask, man, when can our listeners actually expect this phenomenal record?
We have one called Potholes. It's coming out maybe this month or the beginning of next month, actually. That's going to be followed up. That's going to come out along with the video, actually. I'm actually working on a solo record right now. I just dropped one called May 1983 with Jake Lockley. He's also a Toast to the Gifted producer. You know, and that's everything's doing pretty well with that. The single Kumite is moving.
And also, as well, so while we're actually on the topic of the album May 1983, the one thing that I really have to ask, man, is just the story behind that amazing album cover, man, because you can tell that it actually has some meaning to it. I have to ask, like, is that actually a photo of, like, you, or was that actually a put-together photo for the album cover?
Nah, that's a historic photo. That was actually, it was shot by Gordon Parks. You know, I don't know if you are familiar with his work, man. He's an amazing photographer, a black photographer for Time Magazine back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And, you know, he did a lot of great work. You know, I don't know if you ever seen a picture. It's a famous photo called A Great Day in Harlem. It's with all these jazz artists in Harlem. And they replicated it, the hip-hop version, later on down the line. But, you know, Gordon Parks shot both of those versions. He's a famous photographer. That's where we got that picture from.
And I gotta say, it definitely has a very deep meaning behind that photo. That's why when I saw that album, I was like, man, I have to ask about that picture, man, because I do know that a lot of people, when they saw that, they were definitely probably had some curious minds.
Yeah, man. You know, the producer that I work with, he's you know, he's white, and the beats that he make are so soulful. They're so soulful, and you know, and that's how we bonded. You know what I mean? He told my story through those beats, you know, without even knowing me. So if you've seen the photograph on there, you see a white kid and a black kid. You know what I mean? Together in unison. You know what I mean? Playing with each other, happy. You know, and that's exactly how we got along musically.
And also, as well, I actually read that you are currently signed to actually Wu-Tang management. I was wondering, how did you originally get signed with them? And of course, what is it like actually working with that prestigious hip-hop company? Because you can never go wrong with the Wu-Tang.
Oh, no, man, it's a blessing. Actually, I met Capadonna a couple of years ago. He invited me out to a 25th anniversary concert. And, you know, from there I met the Riz. I met everybody that night, man. And, you know, later on down the line, you just being consistent and still working steadily. It just the universe came back around. I met one of ODB's brothers. He stays out here in Arizona, and he got familiar with my music, and he basically wanted to sign me and help me out in any way that he could, you know. So, you know, it's always nice to be with those guys, man. That's the biggest hip-hop group ever. And not only that, they're my favorite hip-hop group, and I grew up with them. They changed my life, you know what I mean, from when I found their music as a kid. And you fast forward now, it's phenomenal that I'm just chilling with them all the time, and I can, you know, I can run with that imprint. That's a blessing. That's crazy.
And I have to ask as well, when you actually said that Capadonna invited you out and whatnot, when he did invite you out, did he know you were an artist then, or did he just invite you out just because he got to know you as, you know, aside from being an MC? Or
yeah, you know, I was an artist. I had sent them. I actually sent them some music on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger. You know, just taking a chance. Anytime I thought I made something good back then, I sent it to all my favorite artists. And I took a chance, and he didn't respond right away. He probably responded almost a year later, but he responded. But he didn't just respond, he called. And I couldn't believe when I looked at my phone, I was like, oh, is this really him? And it was really him. And that phone call was everything. The rest is history after that, man.
Hey, I gotta say, you know what? That must have been really surprising as well, because did you actually kind of forget that you actually sent him that song? Because a lot can happen in one person's life in a year. So a year passed and he called you. At first, were you like, what the hell? Why is Capadonna calling me? Or did you know he's like, did you remember right then and there when he called you that you actually sent him that link?
Nah, man. To be honest, I'm sitting on the couch one lovely Saturday morning, smoking a blunt with my lady. Then the phone rings, and I didn't know at the time. I was just shocked. You know, it's just something that just don't happen. You know, just something happened like that out the blue. That's crazy. You know, I did what I was supposed to do, answer that damn phone, man. You know, afterwards, after I got off the phone, I did go to the history, and I was like, oh yeah, I did send him.
Hey, man, the world definitely works in mysterious ways. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Man, for real, man. Especially when you stay down, man. When you stay consistent, man, shit happens for real, man. Your time will come.
And while we're actually on the topic of working with just legendary individuals, I want to take it to the West Coast here for a minute. I also saw that you actually had the opportunity to work and collaborate with the iconic Tash of the Alcoholics, man. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about this opportunity, and of course, what was it like just being in the studio with 1/3 of the biggest West Coast groups of all time?
Man, for one, shout out to the Alcoholics, man. Hands down, one of the, you know, I'm gonna have to go out and on the limb and say this again. You know, as a young guy, this is another group that I grew up on. Tash's whole stage performance, to this day, I watch and I study it. You know what I mean? And I'm a grown-ass man. I still watch and I study this guy. And it's crazy that I got to link up with you. I got to link up with them through my producer, C1, from Compton, California. He makes great music, and he's always around the Razzcazz, the Planet Asians, the Bishop Lamonts, you know, all the dope individuals out there, and Tash and J-Ro. Those are some great down-to-earth, real guys, and you know, I have to give them a shout out. I haven't actually did a song with Tash. I did a song with J-Ro. You know, we redid the Alcoholics hook. You know, call it what you wanna call it. I'm an alcoholic. You know, he gave us the blessing to redo that hook. So my cousin Vel got on the hook, redid the chorus in an original way, might I add. And then J-Ro got on there on the second verse, and he killed that thing, man. He did his thing, and it was everything, and plus more of what I expected, you know. He was real professional with it, too. You know what I mean? He came, showed up to the studio, and shit, man, he taught me a thing or two, you know.
And also as well, man, January 21st of this year, you actually released your most recent single titled Warlord, featuring Case Money, that actually also has a video out there on YouTube. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this one of his most recent release singles, and of course, where can our listeners actually buy or stream themselves a copy today if they haven't already done so?
Warlord, go ahead and purchase that at Apple Music. You can stream it on Spotify. You can anywhere where you can just find music. It's out there. It's on every platform. That song came about. Case Money is from Philadelphia. He happens to be out here in Arizona. He's an artist signed with Ithaca Music, Sony. He kind of reached out to me, wanted to do a song, so we you know, again, C1 did the beat. I had that one already kind of on deck, and I sent him that beat. He agreed that he liked it, and shit, it came together like butt cheeks, man. And it's actually, I love that song. You know, lyrically, I feel like that's one of my best ones that I've so far released this year.
And I got to say, it definitely is a phenomenal single. I definitely encourage everybody that is listening to head on over there and actually stream that, add it to your favorite playlist, or even purchase that from Amazon, because that definitely has some 2022.
Check out the video on YouTube. Check out the video on YouTube. It's starting to do numbers, man, and I appreciate everybody watching it around the world, man. It's doing more than what I expected off the rip, man. I love y'all, man. Thank you.
And also, as well, I noticed as well that a few weeks ago you actually posted on Instagram about a brand new single that is actually on the way titled Dreaming. I was wondering, what can our listeners actually expect from this up-and-coming release? And, of course, when is the estimated release date for that amazing project? Because I got to say, I looked at the artwork, and it definitely looks phenomenal.
Dreaming is already out. It just got released a couple days ago, unexpectedly. You know, sometimes with these distributions, that's how it go. But nevertheless, it's out. It's out everywhere where you can stream music. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you can get music. Dreaming that beat. 12 Doc out of he's an underground producer out of North Carolina. Dope producer. That's a beat that he made back in like 1996. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. And it's dope. It's a song about nothing but positive messages, keeping your dreams alive no matter what you do. Stay on your grind. Go ahead and enjoy life. Shit don't always have to be bad, man. You know, you can get up with a smile every day, you know what I mean, and achieve something, you know what I mean? That's what dreaming's about, you know what I mean?
And also, I have to ask, man, what is next for yourself, Tay the Crown? Is there anything we happen to miss during this broadcast? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? What we still got you here live on the Canadian Airways this evening?
Yeah, man, you can expect about 5 albums this year alone from me, and a host of, you know, features that I got coming up, a host of a lot of things. Actually, I have an album coming out with C1 called Cactus and Palm Trees. It's going to have, you know, some Wu-Tang features on there. It's going to have some Alcoholics on there. Raz Cash is going to be on there. It's probably going to be a super album for me. I think it's going to be one of my best albums out yet. Man, you know, what more can I say? I got Jake Lockley. I got another album called May 1993 coming out next with him. And with Kamani Kim, I have something coming out with him, ATM, the Professional. You know, I got a lot of things. The next video I am shooting is going to be called Winter in the Desert with OG Bobby Negro. That's off the May 1983 album. And I have Yachts and Ponies coming out, too, with May's Overlay, man. That's about it.
I gotta say, man, it definitely sounds like you're keeping hella busy, and it definitely sounds like 2020 year is the year of Tay the Crown, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I say to myself sometimes I think I'm keeping busy, man, but I don't know, man. 5 albums, that's crazy,
Bro.
But you gotta keep that content coming.
Yo, man, I've been busy. I've been stacking up all year, man, all last year. You know, I keep it moving, man.
But also, Tay, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything you got going on if they're not already doing so.
No doubt. You can go ahead and find me on Instagram at Tay the Crown TTG. Also, Facebook, everything else is Tay the Crown, TAY space DA space CROWN. Shout out to all my fans out there, man. You know, we're small, but we're growing, and you guys interact, and I love y'all. You know what I mean? You guys are the shit. I also got some merchandise coming out for the season, today and yesterday. I have a new line coming out also called Alexander Amir and Dope Duchess.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM airwaves. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege, man. And hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, Tay.
Thanks for having me, DJ Immortal, man. It was my pleasure.
Hey, man, we most definitely shall talk soon, man. Thank you so much again, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night, man, and definitely enjoy the rest of that weekend.
All right, fam. Peace. Love y'all. Peace, Canada. Go get that May 1983. Yeah.
Hey, most definitely, man. Either you get it or you most definitely will regret it, man. Thank you so much, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
You too, bro. Good night.